Now that the dates for the IBPS examinations are starting to come, it is very important that we look at these examinations very, very seriously. And I'll be giving you a 60-day strategy so you will be able to understand how you can approach the IBPS PO examination. And if you are still somebody who has not availed of any mock tests, then there is a great offer by the Guidely Express video course. So this video course is going to be offered to you at a very reduced cost till 20th August 2020. And in this course, you are going to get detailed personalized guidance, mock tests, study notes, live classes, and all the very important things that you need to get success in this examination. So do not waste any time and get this course if you want. And if you want, you can also check out the free material that I have posted in my Telegram channel, and you'll be able to understand the quality. So without any delay, let us start our video. Hi, this is Supriyo. In this video, let us take a look at the 60-day strategy for IBPS PO, because I think that a lot of people feel that it's going to be very difficult to cover the entire syllabus in this time, but I assure you it is totally possible. You just have to look at it holistically and you have to have a good plan. And in the future, if you want any mains or interview session, let me know. I'll consider making those. So the first thing that we have to start off today is the lessons that we can learn from the past IBPS exams. Now when we see the IBPS exams of the past, the first thing that we notice is that we have to have a good balance in your subjects. So there is always a sectional cutoff and there is also an overall cutoff. Now this is very important to understand, that you have to actually pass in each of the sectional tests. So you have to get qualifying marks for your English, for your reasoning, for your quant, etc. So all the tests you have to pass, and also overall you have to pass. So this means that you have to have great balance in your subjects. So the plan that I will be telling you, it will be a balanced plan, and just ensure that not any subject is left behind. This is critical, and this is the most important thing that will determine whether you are successful in this examination. And the next thing is that you have to split your practice into 1 hour sessions and also 3.5 hour sessions. So the reason for this is that your IBPS PO prelims examination, it is only for 1 hour. So in 1 hour you have to finish off that exam, and that means that you have to be a person who is very, very conversant with each and every type of question, and you have to bulldoze your way through all these questions. So it is more of a sprint, a 100-meter race kind of a thing you can think about. But your mains examination, it's going to be 3.5 hours long. There the most important thing is that you choose the correct questions and then you solve them, because you cannot solve each and every question in the main section. So it is very important that you understand that these are the two variants, and in your preparation you have to make way for all the types. So you have to have these kinds of questions which are very not very difficult, but you have to just quickly solve them, and also the questions which are difficult but you have to choose them and then you have to do. So maintain this kind of a balance between these two things, otherwise you might be able to cross prelims and you will be stuck at mains. This is what happens to a lot of candidates, so don't fall in that trap. And what you can use to actually help you in this process is that you can use mini goals. So in mini goals, what you do, so for example, you are doing some kind of quant problems. So you are solving, say for example, some arithmetic problems. So you have 20 arithmetic problems to solve. Give yourself around 25 to 30 minutes. See if you can actually manage to do those, and if you are successful, then the next time you are solving 20 arithmetic problems, give yourself just 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and then just reduce each and every time the time that you take for solving these questions. Once you do those, then it will actually push you to just do these things very, very faster. So this is what mini goals are. So mini goals, you have to have very clearly defined goals. So don't just have a goal that I am going to finish this chapter. No, that is not a good goal. You have to have goals which are easily quantifiable. So you can say, I will be finishing 20 questions, 30 questions, I will be finishing 50 questions from this chapter. Then you will be having a lot of control over it. And if you just want to just have some goals regarding the chapters, then say that I am going to study for 30 pages or 40 pages. Then in your back of the mind, you will be having some goals, and unless you have those proper mini goals, you are not going to be able to just excel in this examination. And also you have to do the end of day analysis, the EOD analysis. So each and every every day, you have to find out whether you have hit your targets, whether you were able to actually just do the things that you had planned. So every day you have to have that kind of a plan executed, and you have to see whether it was according to your original plan at the beginning of the day. And finally, you also have to have EOW analysis, or end of week analysis. So each week you have to just see how much you have studied, how much you have gone ahead, and where are your problem areas. So constantly just analyze yourself, constantly keep a hold of these kinds of parameters. It's very, very important. And every week we are actually going to see various weeks how we are going to structure our preparation, and end of week analysis is very essential at the end of each week. And then if you are an unemployed aspirant or a working aspirant, so this is very important. If you are a person who is at home, who has a lot of time, then each day, each weekday, at least 10 hours you have to study. Each weekday 10 hours, and in the weekends you have to do at least 15. So 15 hours in the weekends and 10 hours. So this actually comes to 50 and 30. So around 80 hours total you have to study during the week. This is something that unemployed candidate can actually easily do. And if you are not able to hit those timings, then this is not going to work out for you, because the time is limited and you have to make use of that time. Remember that. So 70 to 80 hours minimum you have to study. And if you are a working candidate, then what you can do is you can target for 5 hours per day in the weeks. So in the 5 days you are in the weekdays you are doing 5 hours per day, and then in the weekends again you have to go ahead with 15 hours per day, and even more than that you can try, but I know it can be a little bit difficult. So for your person who is actually working right now, at least 55 to 60 hours are very important. And I am saying this because the person who is working, they are a little bit more matured, they are a little bit more analytical. So even if you study a little less, then also you are going to get a lot of output out of you. And that is why I say that at least 55 to 60 hours is essential for the person who is actually working. So try and hit these timings. And of course, if you ask me regarding the ideal study times, I will say that at least a minimum of 70 hours per week is necessary for this examination, and considering the less time that we have. And then also when we are talking about end of week analysis, what are you going to check in the end of the week? You are going to check that you have covered all these 4 things during the week. So the quant reasoning English, the general awareness, the banking awareness, and the descriptive part. Now many people, they have a misconception where they think that all these things you have to cover each and every day. That is wrong. That cannot be farther from the truth. All these things you cannot do at a single day, right? And if you are trying to do, then your mind, it will be just taking a lot of time in the time switching cost. Remember what we talked about, time switching cost, that when you are doing one activity and then you change over to another activity, your brain, it is actually having to take some just time so that you adjust to the new activity. So don't waste time by switching your tasks. But at the end of the week, you have to ensure that all these things you have studied during the week. Understand what I am trying to tell you. All these subjects that I am talking to you about, these are all important, because see, the descriptive, it plays a vital role in your mains preparation, and the general awareness and the banking awareness as well. So for the banking awareness, I have actually started a series. Maybe you have seen that. So just follow that series, and I'm sure that 100% of that you will be covering through that. So it will not be a problem for you. But general awareness, this is something that you have to do daily. And the descriptive practice, that also I have some videos on my channel. You can check the English playlist, and there I have described how you are going to do for the letter writing and for the essay. So at least one letter and one essay per week you must do, so that your entire preparation is structured very well. And the quant reasoning English, of course, that is your bread and butter, right? Quant reasoning English you have to do, and that is why I say that in the entire week, whether you have done these things or not, you have to just check, and this is how you are going to structure your preparation for the best results. So remember that it's going to be very vital for you. And now let us come to the weekly analysis. So I am considering it from Saturday. So from 22nd August you are going to start, and till 30th August what you are going to do. This is the first week, the week 1. Now the first 2 days that are there in this time frame, so the Saturday and Sunday, use them to do your prelims mock tests and your mains mock tests. And what you should do, so for prelims mocks you can do at least a minimum of 3 mocks, or I would suggest at least 4 to 5 if you can manage it. So on Saturday do those prelims mock tests, because these are going to be what I refer to as cold mocks. So cold mocks mean that you have not actually just studied a lot of things, you are going there without any kind of extra study. So it tells you where are your natural strengths and where are your natural weaknesses. That's very important. So on Saturday do that, and on Sunday try to do at least 2 mains mock tests, and if you have time try to do a third. So at least 2 you have to do mains mock tests. So after you have done these mock tests, you will be able to understand how you are actually approaching these tests, where your natural weaknesses lie. And this is the most important thing, because the lessons that you are going to get from these mock tests will help to actually structure your preparation in the coming weeks. So this is very important, remember, and do not take this lightly at all. And also when you are reviewing your mock tests, make sure you follow the 3T methodology that I have often told you about. So if you don't know 3T, it stands for number 1T, which is type. So each and every question type, you might see that some types are very natural to you, another type is not so easy for you to do. So you have to identify that, and just get a notebook and write down the different types. What's your natural strength? What's your natural weakness? Try and identify which types are most difficult for you. So that's the first T. The second T is the time. So time means that you will understand what amount of time you are spending for each and every type of question. So understand that and try to reduce your times, while at the same time keeping your accuracy correct. And the third T, it stands for tricks. So there are always tricks by which you can solve each and every question. I guarantee that, and you have to just find out those tricks. Many times in the mock test answers you might find those tricks, otherwise you can just think about elegant solutions. I keep talking about elegant solutions in especially the quant part, and if you can find those, then your time taken will be reducing considerably. So use that 3T system and always try and analyze these mock tests. And when we are on the topic of mock tests, if you want very high quality mock tests and those that can actually help you crack these examinations, you can check out Guidely's Express video course. They are running a special offer till 20th August 2020, by which you are going to get the entire package for a lifetime subscription at a very reduced cost. And this is your best opportunity to avail of this course. You are going to get live classes, study notes, and all the important things that you need for personalized guidance. And the best thing is that if you are selected, your entire amount is going to be refunded to you. You can use the code Supriyo and get a 10% additional discount on this already great offer. So try and use that. If you are interested, you can check my Telegram channel for the free questions from that series, and you will understand whether those are useful to you. And then coming to the GA section, so in the first week, once you have done the analysis of the mock tests and you understand a little bit about what is at play here, then your GA preparation starts. And in the GA, what you have to do, remember this: each and every day, the first study session of the day must be devoted to general awareness. And I have already talked about general awareness in a video that I have made, and a few of you had some questions regarding that, can we actually just not make our own notes? Well, the answer is that you might not get time during these 60 days to always make your own notes. So if you feel that you are not getting time, then what you can do is you can practice lots and lots of MCQs. So if you practice a lot of MCQs, your retention will be improving, and you can easily then solve those questions very easily. So GA dedicated the first study session of the day. So remember that you have just got to just do the GA for that day and the previous day, and just try and get that done first thing in the morning. This is very important. And every 3 days, try to revise the GA that you have read in the last 3 days. And after 1 week is complete, then do a quick revision of that as well, because revision is key in general awareness. Remember this very, very important thing, that revision will actually save you, and you have to do as many MCQs as possible. And of course, the end of week review that I have already told you about. And now let us take a look at the essential topics that you need to cover in week 1. So for the quant, do the formulas that you need, so just collect them. And I also have a formulas PDF in my Telegram channel, you can check it out. And the ratios, simplification and approximation, these are your bread and butter for your quant preparation. Ratios and averages, these two important things can give you so many marks. People do not understand how important these two subjects are. Ratio and average will determine your quant success, so make sure that you are very, very strong in them. I also have some videos that you can use, and I'm sure that you will be getting a lot of value out of them. And then you have to do the reasoning. So for reasoning, try to do the syllogisms, the ranking direction, and you have to do the alphabet tests. So these are the subjects of reasoning that you have to cover in the first week. And in English, just try to do fill in the blanks and the closer test. So these are the sectional topics that you need to cover in your first week. So if you cover these things, I'm sure that you are in a very good position to move to the next week. So coming to the week 2 and week 3, so in these 2 weeks, what you have to do, you have to utilize the 2 Sundays that you are getting for your prelims mock tests. Now, many people will tell you that you have to do mock tests each and every day. I am not of that opinion. I think that at least if you do it once a week, then also it is fine. If you are indeed getting some problems, then you can do it maybe once every 3 days. But every day if you are doing mocks, then when are you studying? You have to study also, right? It's not only about solving mocks कि बहुत सारा mocks कर दिए तो 2 महीने में हम एकदम आराम से एग्जाम क्लियर कर देंगे, ऐसे नहीं होता है. You have to try and find out where your weak areas are. You have to go back to books if required. You have to go back to videos if required, and then you have to sharpen yourself. So don't always be in this endless loop of mocks. You have to analyze mocks, but it is not the only thing that you have to do. And of course, efficient general awareness every day. First session of every day you are going to do it, as we talked about already. And in these 2 weeks you are also going to do in-depth banking awareness. So banking awareness, you can cover my videos. They will be very in-depth, and you will be understanding a lot of things. And just make notes whenever you can, because these banking awareness things, it will be very helpful for your mains exam, and also it will be critical for your interview preparation. Remember that. And then you have to do the focus on speed and coverage. So very important in this 2 weeks that you have, focus as much as you can on your speed. So try and find out that in the mock tests you are hitting your timings and your coverage. So each and every topic you have to cover, remember that. And you have to do ample reading and listening. This is also very important. I already talked about this when we covered the timetable video, that how you are actually going to just use your time for reading things, for listening to things. So you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to English being spoken, so that more and more your analytical skill in that subject, in that language improves. And you can do that so that your comprehension skills are improved as well, and you are able to communicate better. And of course, you have some essential topics in these 2 weeks. So there are lots of topics. Let's take a look. So for quant, you have to do the ratios. Already you have done a little bit in the previous week, but now you have to do the fractions and the percentages as well. You have to do the time and work and the distance questions, the simple interest, compound interest, the profit and loss. Then you have to do the number series, then the averages, also very important, averages, and the mixtures and the quantity questions. So these are the things that you have to mainly cover for your quantitative aptitude for this 2 weeks. And for the reasoning section, you have to do the verbal and the logical reasoning, and you have to also do the alphanumeric series, the data sufficiency, the coded inequalities, the blood relations, and the coding decoding. So these coded inequalities, the blood relations, and the coding decoding, these 3 areas are extremely scoring. And there's one more, there is also the syllogism. So all these 4 things are very, very easy to do. So whenever you are just attacking the reasoning part of the paper, just try to find out these questions first. do that. And I have already talked to you about the prelim strategy, how you are going to do the 3-pass strategy that I talk about, and I'm sure that you know how to do. And then for the English section, you have to do the reading comprehensions, so do the easier ones in this time frame. Then do the synonyms and antonyms, the spotting errors, the para jumbles, and the closer test. So these are the important things that you have to cover in week 2 and week 3, and I am sure that if you can cover all of these things, then a majority portion of your preparation will already be over. And then we go over to the week 4 and week 5. So from 14 September to 27 September 2020. Now in these 2 weeks, your focus, it is going to be on the mains preparation. Remember, we talked about it early on, 1 hour versus 3.5 hour. So if you can increase your study sessions, then you are actually trying to do your mains preparation. And of course, the 2 Sundays that you have, you are going to take out for mains mocks. So do as many mains mocks as you can in week 4 and also in week 5. Here, the prelims focus is little less, but mains focus will be much more during this time. And of course, the efficient GA every day, you have to do the banking awareness and the descriptive practice. Make sure that you are doing a lot of descriptive practice. How you are going to do the letter writing, how you are going to do the essays. These are the 2 important things that you need, and don't take it lightly, because 25 marks will be there in the mains paper for this, and if you can get a lot of marks there, then it becomes very easy to increase your overall number of marks. And here you have to do the hard mocks, very important. Do the difficult mocks, and of course the mains mocks are much more difficult, and you have to look into complex concepts. So all the difficult concepts that you have to just do it in week 4 and week 5, whatever you are struggling with. And you have to practice another important thing, which is called choosing questions. And this is something that I already talk about, that when you are choosing your questions, it is vital in the mains paper. So if you have a lot of questions, you have to choose which one you have to do. So try, and when you are doing those mains mocks, find out the question that I can easily solve. Try and figure out how you can identify the easy questions, because the person that can identify questions best will be the person who will get most success in the mains paper. Remember that it's not about bulldozing your way through. It is not a sprint. It is not a 100-meter race. It is a marathon, and you have to understand that very, very well. And of course, you have some essential topics for this week 4 and 5 as well. Let's take a look. So for quant, exclusively you are going to do data interpretation. Data interpretation is very, very important for mains, and also it's important for prelims. Prelims also 2 or 3 they are going to give you. And permutation, combination, and probability, this is also conceptual and very easy if you just know the rules and the systems. And then mensuration, the compound problems, so problems which have 2 or 3 concepts mixed together, that is what we call as compound problems. These can be as part of data sufficiency, they can be part of DI, so try and find out those and solve them. And of course, I will be uploading more PDFs on my Telegram channel, so if you need those, please let me know and I'll definitely arrange some for you. And the reasoning questions, long-winded verbal reasoning, that's what you have to cover, logical reasoning as well, and critical reasoning, very, very important for mains part. Critical reasoning is something that can help you score a lot of marks. And then you have to do the complex puzzles and the seating arrangements. Now the interesting thing is that the puzzles and seating arrangements, these are now becoming a very important part of reasoning paper. So even in the prelims you are going to get a lot of questions, but mostly in mains they are going to give you very, very diabolical puzzles. So make sure that after you have just done the easy questions, only then you are going for the puzzles. Don't start with the puzzles whenever you are solving a paper. Just try and ensure that thing. That's very important. And also in English, you have to do the complex reading comprehensions, the dense questions, the various different tones, and those types of hard questions. And then the word associations, the paragraph completions, and the multiple meanings. So that's all about your English preparation, and try and cover all of these things. And I'm sure that by this time you will have comprehensively covered almost every topic that is very important. So coming to week number 6, so in week number 6 you are going to do your mains preparation like you were doing for week 4 and 5, but from the week 7 you are transitioning only towards prelims. So from week 7 only prelims. Do not even think about your mains preparation at that point of time. You have to iron out all the 3T conceptual gaps. So we already talked about 3T, so just try and find out those conceptual gaps. By now you will be having a lot of notes in your notebooks regarding your problem areas, and you can iron them out. And then less new stuff and more revision. So focus a little bit more on revising the kind of concepts of quant reasoning and English, and also your GA revision. This is very important because from week number 7 and week 8 you are not going to do any GA. So before that, just finish off your old revision. And the general awareness, banking awareness revision, this is something that you have to complete by week number 6. Ensure that. And understand the question solving priority. So this will come after you have done a lot of mock tests. You will be understanding that if I am doing reasoning, should I first do the ranking problems? Should I first do the direction problems, or the coded inequalities, or the blood relations? What should be my priority? What is my strength? So it is only possible to understand by doing lots and lots of mocks. So try to find out your question solving priority, so that in the final examination when you are sitting there, you don't have to think about which problem you want to attack first. That's very, very important. And GA MCQs, as much as possible, try and do the GA MCQs, because I have already talked about why MCQs are important, and if you do it correctly, then MCQs alone can give you a lot of marks. And week number 8 finally, so the final week. So in this final week, what you are going to do, 100% focus will be on your prelims, and then you are going to review all the mock test data. It is very valuable data that you have, that all these prelims mocks that you have done, how much have you scored, what is your percentile, where are you lacking, have you written down according to the 3T that I have told. If you have done all of those things, you can just review them, and you have to just calm down your mind. Do not be so much in a hurry, and I will tell you that at least around 3 or 4 days before your final examination, stop your mock test. So if your examination is on 30th, then by 26th it should be your last mock test. So last prelims mock test will be 26th, and the last 4 days you are just going to solve your normal questions, and you are just going to give your brain some time to relax. Don't stress yourself out, because you are at the victory, at the door of victory, and at that point of time it does not really help to stress yourself out. So no main centric stuff, of course, because you are totally focused on prelims. And have you created systems? So this is very important. When you are doing your prelims mock tests, have you created systems that when you see the question paper, you immediately know, should I attempt this question now or should I leave it? Remember, I have already talked about the 3 pass strategy. So if you have not seen that video, go check it out, the prelims video for IBPS PO, how you are going to attack those questions. And if you have created your systems properly in your mock test, then you will be able to just understand how you are going to approach. So if you see a difficult type of question, you can just skip it and go to the next one, then just solve it and later on come back, because that point of time you cannot waste any time. Remember, you only have 1 hour. 1 hour goes by very, very fast, and you have to simulate all of these things. So by this point of time, you will be knowing when is your exam date, and the time also you are going to be knowing. So if it is from the morning, say it is from 10 to 11, then at that point of time, your main important thing that you have to do is from 10 to 11, you have to schedule most of your prelims mocks, and you have to make it so that your brain is very active during the time when you are going to sit for the final examination. So remember, simulation is very, very important, and without simulation we are not going to become into that exam environment. And the final advice that I can give you, so there is a lot of negativity outside. People are saying the vacancies are less, there is so little time, we are not going to make it, and all these things. If you are letting negativity enter inside you, then you are not going to achieve your goal. You have to be in a tunnel vision. The others might be talking about many negative things. You just have to shut off from those things. You only need 1 seat. Remember that. And if you have 1 seat, or if you have 10,000 seats, do you think that this year some people are not going to become IBPS PO? No, right? Some people who deserve it, they are going to become. So if you are the person who deserves to become IBPS PO, then you are going to become IBPS PO. Remember that very, very well. You have to become a person who actually deserves this job, and make yourself the best. Don't pull down others. Don't say that others are pulling you down. That is a very negative kind of thing. Don't look at external things. Look at yourself. Internally, find out the strength, find out what you can do, what is your best way forward, so that you can ensure that you have a seat this year in IBPS PO. I hope that you learned something from this video and that it was beneficial to you. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like and share it with your friends. And if you want to see more of this kind of content in the future, then make sure to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon so that you, my friend, do not miss any future update. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.